Hi guys, good morning everyone. Hello.
Today we have hackathon on data analytics. Okay, this is not data science hackathon. This is data analytics hackathon. So who are completed your Python or Excel or Power BI? So those guys can understand easily what is going on today. Okay, so who are new joiners or who are fresh to this, and you just observe how it is going on. Okay, what is hackathon and how it is going on. Those are all things you can observe here. And if you have any doubts regarding this subject and regarding this data analytics course or data science course and market analysis and this project analysis or any doubts, if you have in your mind, if you have any questions in your mind, you can ask him freely and he will explain everything. And after that, he will explain this project. And juniors who are new, you can sit with the seniors and how they are solving this problem statement, how they are approaching to solve this problem statement, what their approach, and if you have any idea to solve that problem, what is your approach? And you can explain and you can sit together and you can complete those problem statement and the task and everything. Okay. So after that, we'll discuss those things after 1 o'clock after lunch. We'll complete this problem statement. Now the session is for the data analyst. His name is Raju, and he's 3 years data analyst experience guy, and he's working in Amazon right now. Okay. Kiran, Kiran. Okay, so any doubts? If you have any doubts on this data analytics or data science and data, okay, data engineer also, data, complete data things, anything related to data, you can ask. Okay, why? Because you are a data analyst. Anything you can join. Okay, you can join as a business analyst or finance analyst or sales analyst and data analyst, data scientist and data engineer. Any job is suitable for you. Okay. Yeah, he is Mr. Raju. He's data analyst. Hey guys. Only stand. ఇంకొంచెం. Only stand. That's it. Okay.
Okay. Start. Okay. Shall we? Okay. So, hi guys. Am I audible? So, today we are going to discuss one session. I took the main underrated concept in the data science, or let's say data analytics, which is nothing but a data pre-processing or a data cleaning. So as a data analyst, 80% of your work will go after data cleaning and data pre-processing. So we'll discuss it thoroughly, how we do and how we progress in the way. So before that, let me try to give you a basic introduction about me. So let's say, so my name is Raju Nata. I've been working as a data engineer now, but I started my journey as a data analyst. So I've been experienced with the 3 years of experience. Overall, a part of 2 years of experience, I have been familiar with AWS, PySpark, Databricks, and Python and SQL and ETL pipeline. So I started my journey as a data analyst uh, in a very startup company as an intern and turned into a full-time employee. Then I started working with the Predera Technology, which is a second company, as a data analyst. So as a part of project, believe me, in a data world, as per the requirement, you have to change yourself. So luckily, like I have to go on cloud, which is nothing but a data engineer role. So within less time, I have been promoted into data engineer, and now I recently joined Amazon as a data engineer, full-time employee with a good package and overall experience. So this is all about me. So as a part of 3 years, I have a 3 years experience Python, SQL, Power BI, and 2.5 years on AWS and PySpark data. So this is all about me. So let's dive into the topic. So here we are. So I'll be teaching. Actually, I started my career as a data analyst. So I would like to have a good discussion on data analyst. So yeah, so we'll try to put it in this way. We'll try to take it as an agenda, and we'll try to focus on each topic and each question. Try to answer the each question and try to get the knowledge of what data analytics. So we'll try to start with what data analytics is the basic one. Then a role we given at a data analytics is nothing but a data analyst. Then what actually daily do they do? Given with my experience, and what are his roles and responsibilities, and what skills make you a data analyst. And finally, the main question you may be having in your mind: why to become a data analyst? So let's go on then. So any data analyst or data science, anything will start like this. The ecosystem, you can say that the keyword which we use in a data science word. So first thing first, let's say a stakeholders or like a request. Executives will have their thought. So I'll try to put with an example of Swiggy. I also worked as a Swiggy employee in one of the past day 2017. So Swiggy deliver boy into a software employee, which is a kind of a appreciation journey for me. So I'll feel a very proud myself. So let's say how a Swiggy started. Let's say a kind of a lazy person like me put it in the hostel, sit in the hostel, and try to think like every day I have to go to the curry center and I have to take the curries and I have to eat. So I got a thought one day that is there any possible if someone create a way so that I will from my phone I will pay and I will order so that someone will come after me and uh, what we say give me the food so that I can easily eat it from the home. So this thought is free, right? No cost and everybody cost. But believe me, to make it real, how many people are working? There are like software people, data people, and you can see that Swiggy delivery. So to make a thought into reality, it took me it maybe Swiggy took a 6 years of a journey to build that application. Now they are into profit. So everything comes from a thought. Let's say I've been working as a working for a healthcare domain. So there, a guy, a clinical guy, a doctor came into the picture, and he got a thought that so why I shouldn't put application on top of healthcare so that patients and etc. healthcare business is now top of the industry. You know, all you guys all know that, right? So thought into the technical is nothing but a data. So some fellow, ex fellow will come with the thought, stakeholders you can say, board or clients, whatever you can say. Then he come up with the thought with the data. Okay. So the moment the data comes into the picture, the data analyst pops up. So what is the role of the data analyst? So whatever his data is and whatever is requirement, we need to put a knowledge and whatever the skills you have learning so far, let's say SQL, Excel, etc. We have to put into the effort and try to transform the unstructured data into structure so that it will help the business people to take business decisions. So this is how it works. So the client will come with the thought and with the data, and it will hand over to the data analyst, and 80% of the work is done by data analyst. Then a data scientist, who are the higher authorities of the data analyst, they will try to do machine learning models. You may be listening that nowadays data science part. So machine learning, deep learning, such concepts. So those guys are like data scientists and data. So now I started as a data analyst and now I'm into data engineer. So gathering the data and storing data in a structured way. Believe me, data is not going to be a structured way. I mean, structured means like, let's say it's not going to be whatever you see in Excel. It's not like that. So it will be very clumsy. That is what a data analyst does. So this is an ecosystem. Every company will follow. Client with their thought, with their data, and data analyst. Then let's say higher authority is nothing but a data scientist and data engineer. So this is a very basic question. Where what is data analytics? So I think the same question, similarity example we can take. So the moment we get the data, we'll try to do analytics with their skills, Python, SQL, and then we'll find insights. So this much revenue, this much profit, this many patients are coming, etc., and we'll give better service. So this is what all about data analytics. So this is like overview. On top of you are seeing like a movie, and background how many technicians are working, on background how many writers, etc., etc. People are working to make that movie into the movie data. So that's where we are data analysts. So I would like to take this example later. I'll come into this. You will like it. So this is a project I've been working on right now. So I'll come to this example. So for example, who is the data analyst, right? He takes the data and it tries to transform it and put it into in a structured format so that it will help to the business holders to take the business decision. So that is what. So to make it more precise, technical skills he has to have, and applications, what he does, and the purpose of the data analyst, we have to know what is the purpose. We'll try to discuss that with an example, purpose, example, and data and example. And last question, you have to keep asking this question, why? So that is 80% of your job. Why, when, how. This is how a data analyst works. So let's go to the who. This is what about who is a data analyst. Then this is very interesting thing. What does the data analyst do? So this is I prepared from my experience. So for example, I'll try to put a meetings on with the US UK client and try to identify their objective. Let's say they'll say, Raju, I'm giving data. I want to predict whether this patient has a diabetes or not. So he's simply giving the data and he's asking the question whether he has a diabetes or not. If you see data, you will get mad about him. Why? Because he's giving such a dumb data and he's asking such a question. So that's where the data analyst comes into the picture, transform the unstructured data with the skills, whatever learning in the course, and put it into action. So first thing first, you'll identify the business objective. Then the cleaning start, data cleaning and modeling. We'll see with an example. Then you do analysis like you can say revenue, price, prediction, etc. like that. Then obviously layman. Let's say we have such people like no one have a coding on. Let's say if you started saying Python, there is a pandas, you'll help to. He'll get confused. So if you show it in a visualizations way, then anyone can understand. In layman can understand. So layman is non-technical. So after data visualization, show your present findings. Whatever you find it in the visualization, try to show up. So this is how a data analyst do regularly. We'll go to the clients, we'll take the inputs, and we'll try to take the data, whether this data is matching with their thoughts. If not, try to ask them, we need sufficient data, this is not sufficient. If not, he will give, or not, I don't have any data, you have to buy yourself. Then we'll obviously take the picture and we'll start. So this is how a data analyst job goes. So roles and responsibilities, to uh, to make it very clear step by step, I can say business understanding. So what is the gather required information, determine appropriate methods and scope of work, etc. will go some business understanding. Then data understanding. Business understanding is different. Data understanding is different. Whether the data is able to help the business understanding, that is what about the data understanding. So you'll try to collect initial data and identify data, something, is there any data type changes, etc., etc. Then you prepare accordingly. You will always be having the target. Let's say, like I said, whether the patient is diabetes or not, that is the target, and you have the scratch data. So you'll always think in a mind how to prepare the data accordingly so that I can get the result. So that's how a data preparation goes. So to make you very understanding whether you are doing right or wrong, so exploratory data analysis, we say that. So let's say visualizations, Power BI. So the moment you put the data into the Power BI, you'll came into the picture, okay, this is working fine, not working fine. So on that way you'll able to get an idea how you are transform your data. So the moment you transform the data, validation check, that is what I'm trying to say, whether you done right or wrong. So let's say you can't simply transform and send it to the data client, I have done my work, take it. So you can't say that. So you have to validate yourself first, I have done right. Why? Because clients come up with the questions, obviously, why like that, why you this method. You have to make sure you are going to answer the questions. So the last one, which is nothing but a visualizations and presentation. So this is how a life cycle of data analyst project will goes on. So the last one, so readmission project. So I'll try to explain one data analytics real-time project which is happening in US. So in our India, we don't, our governments won't bother about our healthcare, but in US and UK there is a rule provided by a government. Let's say if you are a patient, you are admitted to a hospital with a disease, and let's say within 30 days you got discharged by the doctor saying that you are okay now. If you gone to home and within 10 days, within 30 days, if you come up with the same disease and if you readmitted the same hospital, the hospital has to pay you the compensation by wasting your time and playing with your health. So this is the rule kept by the government, US, UK. So now hospitals are thinking in a way how to get out of this tax. Let's say they want to predict earlier only whether the moment you join the hospital, they want to predict whether this patient will readmit or not. So how they predict? So that's what our data analytics will try to put some conditions. Let's say while discharging, we'll cross check with these data. Let's say his BP should not be greater than 90. I'm not about the figures, but I'm just trying to, his BP not should be greater than 90, his weight should be less than 80, etc. Some condition validation checks will put. And if the patient will cross such a matching with the such criteria, then only we'll discharge. Or else doctors people will say some false stories, you have some problem, you have to stay few more days. Why? Because they don't bother about patient type, they just bothered about payment. If patient rejoins again, they has to pay 30,000, let's say, compensation in dollars, I'm saying, and how many days he has been admitted, they have to pay. So healthcare is a number one business now in data science world, or whatever is, you may be seeing as healthcare is a god, but it is a number one business running now. So that's how they are figuring out using the data analytics concept to predict whether this guy will readmit or not. So that if there is 80% of chances if he is going to readmit, then they won't discharge them. So that's how they're lessing their compensation and taxes on the government. So this is one real-time example. So will try to put dashboards like this. So UI UX. Have you ever about UI UX? This is like UI UX application, whatever you are seeing in the front end. In the back end, we are the data analytics people. So obviously, we data people are underrated. Product people are getting more packages, right, greater than data people. Why? Because we are in the back end. They guys are putting applications. They are building the apps. So they are in front end. They are market leader. But in the back end, without data, no one can do anything. So this is a real time example. So maybe this is the question: what skills make a data analyst? Obviously, so it depends. Let's say your data is coming on CSV, you can use Excel, you can use Python. Let's say your data is on servers, we call it as a databases. So Python can't help that, right? So we need such a another technology, or let's say language, which will deal with the databases. Nothing better. We called it as a SQL. So MySQL is a server. Let's say SQL is a language, and if you put it on the MySQL workbench, it is a MySQL language. If you put the SQL into the PostgreSQL, it is a Postgres. And if you put the SQL into the SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, then it is a Microsoft SQL Server code. So nothing. Base is the SQL, and wherever you putting the your coding, then the platform change. So SQL, basics of Excel and advanced Excel, any you can choose Tableau or Power BI. Since Tableau is a paid version, you can go after Power BI as a free source. And students, you guys have to explore with the free sources. So SAS is for healthcare people, but I'm giving overall. As per my knowledge, I'll give other thing. So R is for data healthcare people only. But Python, by Python you can't skip Python. I'm saying wherever you go, Python will follow you like it. But whatever you building, writing code, in the back end there should be a subject. So I think we are coming back to the those days. Again, we are depending upon the subject. So nowadays writing a code is not a big deal. You have a chat gpt, you guys are so lucky, you can manage with the code. But when to use what, that's where the subject comes. So I would like to have the topic today, because I done my masters in statistics, bachelor's in statistics. I want you to guys put knowledge on statistics, and I'm happy to say that statistics is the key role for a data science. So that's what the topic I took today. Statistics, how data analysts should use to make business decisions. So these are the overall technologies, trending technologies as a data analyst overall using in the world. But I'll say these five are the masters. So you can say Excel. Like I said, if you are getting data in Excel CSV, then you can use Excel to do analysis, etc., to understand the data. Then let's say if you are dealing with the data in databases, you have to go after SQL. You have no other option. Then if let's say if you have a data CSV, whatever the format, you may be hearing of JSON, etc. So Python is master. It can deal with any data. So obviously, like I said, to understand everyone, whether the stakeholders, clients, etc., non-technical fellows also, Power BI is the master to show it in a visualization so that everyone can understand what's going on with the data. So lastly, the underrated concept, which is nothing but a statistic. I think you maybe feel today like what I lecture at class. I mean, I'll come back. I'll get you back to the statistics like a y equal to mx plus c. But I'll try to put on top of it how real-time application. So this is what about data analyst. If you guys are worrying, I have to study five things. The answer is yes. But if you want me to pick few things, I'll say SQL, Python, and Power BI. Obviously, statistics is a base. You can't skip that. So I'll say you can skip the Excel as of now. Why? Because let's say data is not coming in a very small form. Data is coming in millions of rows. So Excel has a limit. Let's say 50,000. I think if you have a 50,000 rows, it will start lagging, hang. So you can go after SQL. SQL is the main role. Python and Power BI. If you keep three things out of three, if you are good with two things, let's say Python and Power BI, good to go as a data analyst. SQL and Power BI, good to go. If you keep 3-1, you are in top of the. I mean, you are in front of the others. So let's say I think now you guys are in institutes. I'm a 90s kid. I have no other option. I have to go after institutes to learn the code. But nowadays, everybody doing a course from the home, and they are putting in the LinkedIn. They are mastering data science. If you really check them with the interview, they don't have a knowledge. So you are living in a world like everyone has a data want to become a data analyst, data science, etc. So what tops on you? Like you have to be something unique, right? So that's why I want you to take more time to keeping in the mind that everyone is preparing for the data analysis, so that you have to make sure you are something unique. So I'll try to give some cheat sheets also in the last session. Why? Because you have to cheat something. I mean techniques to follow to get a job. So I'll try to do that. So these are the skills, and why Excel. I don't want to discuss this because we have a very real-time thing to discuss. So 45% we have Excel functions to deal data and simplify analysis with pivot tables. Maybe you may be familiar with pivot tables. Uh, you can visualize in Excel as well, right? SQL. So I have to take time. So 50%, right? The data is coming, is not structured. You have to take 50% retrieving data, create new tables, merging new tables. These all things will go after 50%. So 25% of combining data sets, defining the database schema. So mostly these two parts you will do as a data analyst. So they'll hire some different fellows for that purpose, defining the database schema. We called it as a SQL developers. They are mainly focused on creating schemas. Maybe you are familiar with schemas, I don't know. If these guys like if you are completed with a SQL code, then you will able to listen that what schema. So these are the things, why SQL and why Python, right? So maybe you maybe hear this, numpys and pandas are two kings of a Python. So you can't go after them, you can't skip Python and numpy. Why? Because as a data analyst you will mostly focus on numpy and pandas. You won't go anywhere. So as a part of now 25% now this part is taken by the Power BI. Earlier we don't have any Power BI, so we used to do visualizations using Python. But now we are using Power BI to give the good visualizations part. So 60% of the work goes for the NumPy and Pandas for data mining and cleaning as a data analyst. So last thing is like manipulation. You can change the data for 15%. But believe me, 60% of the data, 60% of your work will go for this. So Power BI. So within less time, you can see it started in 2015. Before that, Tableau is a market leader. Now in 2022, this is a like last time PPT I prepared for my course. I prepared that. So 2022, now Microsoft is the market leader. And believe me, Microsoft will be the market leader for overall 10 years. Why? Because it's a free source. Tableau is not a market leader. Why? Because it's a paid source. You can use Tableau for free only for 15 days. Then after you have to pay a minimum $29. It's nothing but kind of a 4,000, 5,000 per month. So obviously everyone needs free and free sources. So that's why Power BI is in the top. So you have to learn Power BI. So this is a Gartner which will every year monitor the data visualization tools and try to give a report which is in top. So as per the Gartner, in 2022, Microsoft is the market leader and still is the market leader. So why Power BI? Your dashboards creation and Tableau is Power BI was Tableau. So Power BI is free, like I said, ease of sharing reports and custom visualization. So everything is free. So dashboards you can create, and we have two types of applications. One is desktop. You can download it as a application in your Windows laptop, or let's say if data is coming huge, we have to depend upon the cloud, which is nothing but a server. So Power BI is giving two services so that any user depend upon the requirement, they'll come after the Power BI and they can use it in a day. So this is what a Power BI. So yeah, let's try to discuss this career prospects to give you hope, right? So data analysts come from the different domains. I can talk about mine. I'm a BSc statistician, MSc statistician. Believe me, I have a in bachelor's maths, physics, statistics. In masters, only statistics. I came into the data analyst. So anyone came into the data analyst. How many of you think here you are out of box? I mean, let's say a biology person is there. If you imagine, he feels like I'm out of box. Why I'm here? But believe me, he can get. So anyone is there out of box who can think, I'm not into this data analytics, but I came into here. So if anyone is like that, but believe me, you are able to get into. Why? Because we have a different domains. Let's say you are a biologist, you have a biotechnology in your bachelor's, let's say masters. You can focus on healthcare data. Let's say you are a mechanical fellow, right? So whatever the deals with the data, if there is a data, then is a data analyst. So you can target your familiarity subjects, domains, and try to get a job. So I'll suggest that, let's say it's a mechanical fellow is that, try to focus on machine manufacturing industry. So they'll use these bike models, etc., to predict their sales. So try to focus on the domains and try to target such a roles. So any person can come from the backgrounds, any graduates, professionals from BPO and KPU. I think you may remember Sharath, which is a previous fellow. He's from the BPO. He's my colleague. We worked on the same company. He's from the BPO and he's a machine learning data engineer. So don't think your graduation makes sense in your technical career. So it doesn't matter. So anyone can come. Freshers also have a good opportunities, and professionals from any domain like HR also coming, etc. People are, why? Because everyone know software people are paying good and career is good. So that's why any people are free to come and encourage this career. So any professional management and finance, accounts, etc. Anything. So job growth. So you can start as a data analyst. So you can see I turned as a data engineer after learning cloud, big data, these things. I turned as a data engineer. Let's say if you are familiar, if you want to go after like data science, machine learning, deep learning, NLP, these concepts, you can go after data scientist roles, not in directly, but slowly. If not, if we are good with showing dashboards, if you are liking yourself by while creating dashboards, then you can go after BI developer, Power BI developer, business intelligence developer. So what I mean to say is the base step or the kickstart is data analysis. So later on, as per the your thought process, you will you will go after one career. So you can go after any careers. The kickstart is data analytics and data analysis. So that is a job growth. So 23% from 29 to 26. This is a Glassdoor organization which will predict the job growth. So they are saying like there will be a 23% hike, 33%, 23% growth in the data analyst roles. So as per the statistics. So we can talk about the salaries. Average they are getting 5 lakhs. If you go to the Bangalore, if you come into the Hyderabad, you will get 3.5. So depend upon the place. So as the experience goes, your package also goes. I'll try to take my thing. I started as a 3.5, then 1 year within I have a 5.5. Now I'm a 15 LPA. So it goes with an experience. 3 years I came into the 15. So believe me, don't try to start with a very less package. Try to think in a way that I got opportunity to enter into this field. So whether they are giving 15,000 also, please try to enter. The moment you enter, wait for 1 year, then after you can switch yourself for the better growth. So this is the in demand data analysts are in demand, so that there are also in demand salary. So which companies are hiring? Almost every company who are dealing with data, they are hiring data people. Why? Because they need a guy who can understand the data and who can transform the data and which will help them to get business decisions. So almost every company. So yeah, this is about a kind of a demo as a data analyst. Now let's try to deep down to the topic I took to today, which is nothing but a data pre-processing and data cleaning in data science, or I can say data analysis. So yeah, can I have some water? So hope you guys understand whether I'm a little bit engaging you guys or not. Yes, yeah. And this is not a school, so that no one will beat you or something like that. You can ask free questions, or you can whatever here you are getting. I think I believe in one thing. If someone asks you a question, if someone asks a question in the class, he may be full for a second, but who never asks a question, he is full for a life. Believe me, that is my mindset. So you may be full for now, but I say something, you'll get to know. But some other people are laughing, don't give a damn about them. So that is what. If you are fuel for a second, don't give a damn, go after it. So that is what about today's topics. Pre-processing and future engineering. So data comes and you are saying we are predicting something. What happens in the between, right? So that is what the today topic. Maybe you maybe listened about the data, machine learning, AI, deep learning, etc. from the previous thing people. So today I want to stick into the subject, and where your 80% of the work goes on. I want to know. I want you to give a knowledge how your life would be as a data analyst. So let's start the topic. Process. No, what? Can I? Yeah. Thank you. So, I'm a healthcare boy. Like I'm working for a healthcare industry. So I took a healthcare example. So I'll try to show you how I am using the statistics, or let's say data analytics in my daily life. So first, we'll try to take some business medical use cases. Now I'm going to discuss that example which I left earlier. So we'll try to discuss some medical use cases, and we'll see how this data pre-processing and data cleaning is helping us. And finally, we'll see how we are predicting them. Right. So the first thing first, so machine learning, this is the end goal. The moment you are getting data, you are directly seeing that is going after ML. But in the between, no one talks. That's the I feel very guilt. Like no one talks about the between step. Why? Because that is the key step. So data is coming from free, like coming from the client or some sources. That is not in your hand. Machine learning is like our end goal. But between whatever doing, you have to know, right? So that is what the today topic. So after machine learning, we'll try to refine, evaluate, and predict something whether this salary has good in that. So believe me, there are some applications like uh, people are getting so lazy. They build some application. Let's say you are joining as a fresher. Let's say 5 years experience. They build an application based upon. They'll simply type the HR. Will type the your highest qualification, your previous current role, or let's say your previous package, and the moment there is a evaluate, there is a button. The moment she click the button, it will give you the how much package she should offer you as based upon your experience, etc., etc. That's how data has evolved and real world has evolved. So that's we are doing the prediction. That's what exactly I mean. So I prepared data preparation, that is concept. So I divided this data preparation into three parts. So as a data preparation, what we'll be having? First, you'll try to explore, then quality assessment, whether data is quality or not. If not, you have to change something. Then cleaning, cleansing or cleaning, you can say that. Labeling, you can create new columns as per the requirement. Then future engineering, let's say we have a data of 200 columns, right? If you give the 200 columns to the machine learning model, it will hack. So let's say try to answer this question to me. So what will be the factors, general perspective I'm asking you, can you answer that? uh, what is the factors affecting for the salary? Let's say I'm a 3 years experience. On based upon what HR will give me the package? Experience one factor, skills, yeah. Let's say highest graduation, you can say that. So these three are the columns, let's say three columns affecting the, which is nothing but how much package she should offer, right? So in machine learning, this is the basic concept. We have a 200 300 columns. We don't need 200 300 columns. Out of 300, we'll select only 20 columns, which are the factor affecting columns, which will help to take the business decision. That is all about data science in simple words. So to take the 200 to 20, believe me, there where the data analysts, data engineers are working like a heart. So yeah, data preparation, this is what about. So what is data preparation? Like I said, I think we need to process the data first, understanding the business, and like I said, which is a very important step, and you should experiment with the data, pre-processing, etc., like that. So let's move on. So motivation, what is the data preparation motivation, right? So you have to be, the data is incomplete, right? That is the motivation. First thing first, data is incomplete. You have to be make sure it is completed with the right information. So integral step in machine learning directly affects the our model. I can't learn every learn. Sorry. So data preparation is motivation is nothing but your data is scratch. Then your motivation starts. You have to do something so that it will help business to make business decisions. So so why data preparation is important in digital health? So like I said, I'm a healthcare industry. So you can see this. Maybe if you learn the data science, no pre-processing. I mean, with as come the data comes, we just put into the machine learning model, and this is what the linear regression. There is a concept, maybe y equal to mx plus c. That is a statistical formula. If you see without accurate, without no processing, there is a 75 accuracy. Uh, let's say score, how much good it is performing. Okay, with processing it is gone to 77, right? So depend upon the model. You can see 67 to 80 after processing, and 65 to 79, and this is after processing. So that's why I'm saying data processing is the key step. If you put a time to do it in right way, you will see a good results, and client also become very happy. So that's what underrated concept in data science world. That's why I would like to discuss. So data preparation steps. First thing first, data clean. You have to do data cleaning. I'll try to take an example. I think I'm saying this word many times. What is data cleaning material? I'll try to take a data and try to do with a Python. So maybe then you will get engaged. But what I'm trying to say, concept is the base. You guys are like shortcuts. I know this generation, or let's say I'm a 90s kid. I'll always go after formula, and still I'm maintaining paper to how to tell the presentation. So I'm going after 1.1. I'm a paperwork boy since I'm 90 kid. You directly go to the Python and start writing without understanding the concept, how it works, when have to use this method, when not. Without knowing that understanding, you are directly going and writing the code. It doesn't make sense because you go after ChatGPT. Our days we don't have an option. That's why I think we learned from the scratch. You guys have a shortcut. You directly go to the chat GPT and you can ask. But you won't think you will come up with the answer and you'll copy paste the thing and run the code. You thought I got the Python. But when you go to the interview, then you will realize what you are exactly. So that's why concepts are made. That's why I would like to take some time to discuss concept. Please bear with me. Don't slip. I'll also slip in the back end bench when I was in student. But later I gone to same sir. So please explain me the whole lecturer, whole year lecturer from the scratch again. So he is like a shock. But believe me, you'll go to that days. So data cleaning, data transformation, data integration, normalization means the data is not in range. You have to normalize it in a way. Data imputation, we'll discuss this missing. There will be some missing values. What to impute? I'll take with a simple example. You know, mean median mode. How we are using mean median mode to impute data to fill missing values. We'll try to discuss that. Noise identification. So data preparation steps. So this is our data process, business understanding, data preparation, modeling, evaluation, and deployment. So this is how a application, whatever the app you are seeing, that is how it will. The backend, business understanding, data preparation, there were the data analyst people there. But how what all people we see ChatGPT only, right? Application, which is very used. How whoever invented, we think it as a genius. But in the backend, such are guys like me who are worked for years to get that application into the reality. So that is why underrated concept, underrated role also data analyst and data engineers. So select data. The first thing first, I segregated this concept into data preparation into three types. First thing first, select the data, then pre-process data and transform data. So selection. Let's see what to select, what not to select. Let's discuss. So that is on select. You can see the bowl. We have a different colors of bubbles over there. You have to select, like I said, 200 columns. We don't need 200 columns. We have to need only 10, 20 columns. So what to pick, what not to pick, how to judge that. So that is where statistics comes into the picture. We'll try to understand that. So process data, better data. Process data leads to the better data, and fancier algorithms is nothing but better algorithms. Okay. So in selecting, first thing first, we'll go after formatting. Let's say there is a date 01/03/1997. Let's say it is in a string. You know the string, right? Data type string. So let's say I suddenly got a thought. I want to see year wise sales, right? Can I perform some operations like, let's say there is a date 01/03/2017, like that I have for 24 years, few years. Just I want to see year wise sales. Can I do that on string? Right? I can't do that. Why? Because you can't split that from the string, right? So if it is a data type like date, right? You can use SQL or Excel. Maybe you are maybe listen that SQL and Python. You can use date column to filter it out as date wise, year wise, and monthly wise. So first thing first, if the data types are correct, let's say if there is a date column and it is in a string, nothing used in future. So you have to turn into a date type. So like that, let's say gender is there, gender male and female. If it is in an integer, like we can't make sense, right? How many males are there, how many females are there? How you calculate? It has to be in string. So what you have to do, you have to convert that integer into string. So that's the process of format. So first thing first, formatting. Then after, like I said, you have to remove some columns. So removal or fixing of missing data. So what is that removal or mixing of data? We mean incomplete and do not carry the data to address the problem. I mean that data which is not helping our problem decision. Let's say to salary, let's say I can take my 10th class marks. It doesn't make sense with my salary. 10th class marks, let's say I have 6.5 GPA, but I'm here. So if you are putting as a factor 10th class marks affecting the salary of a 5 years experience as a candidate, doesn't make sense. So you have to remove such columns which are not helping your problem. So sensitive information analyze. We'll try to see with an example. Identify incomplete, incorrect, inaccurate, irrelevant parts of the data. So this is what data analysts do. You may be thinking it's an easy part, but believe me, this is what we do daily. So dummy variables. Dummy is nothing but duplicates. We can say that. So you can see there is a in small there is a dummy variable. So we call it as a reference group. So we'll try to seek this with an example. So I'm trying to see. We're done with the select data. We are entered into the second step, which is nothing but a process data. So we'll see while doing data pre-processing, we'll see some dummy variables. Variables nothing but a columns. So how to deal that? So we'll familiarity with that and transformated attributes. So like I said, you can see raw data is like that. The moment client given like that, you know the linear regression, the how line it goes, the data points which is closer to the linear regression line, then it is a good data. So you can see the data here, the raw data, which is have a doesn't have any sense, right? So if I apply some transformation techniques like log transform or non-linear like that, you can see the data is going away, which is in a structured way. That will help you to go take some business decisions or logically, right? You can't go data. This is will help you. You have to be make sure you are logically right. There is no managing. You have to be. He'll ask why you have done this step because this. You have to make sure you have to answer that question. So we have to go logical perspective. So transformation of attributes. So box plot, a box or box plot. So how I try to do this statistics terms, you can see right skewed and left skewed symmetry. I try to take some time to discuss this. Here you can see pix square root or something. Let's try to discuss that. Let's say general what I do the moment I got the data, I'll try to do distribution plots. Have you ever hear about it? Distribution plots in statistics. So it helps to understand how the data has been distributed overall. So let's say left skewed. What is left skewed? Let's say I have a column called gender, male and female. Let's say out of 100 values, 90 values are males and 10 values are females. Let's say if I given the data to machine learning, what is machine learning? Trained on the previous data, and if you give the new data, it has to predict the future. That is all about a machine learning. So let's say in this case 90 values are males and 10 values are females. If I trained the machine learning model, if you given the new data, which is let's say a new employee has been hired, female, let's say, since we have a very rightly skewed, I mean data 90% of the data for males, or the model start predicting this female candidate as a male. So that will be the problem. So you have to make sure first try to understand whether it is leftly skewed, rightly skewed means whether it into the one side or like in between. So the thumb rule for the data people is right. It has to be symmetrical. I mean in the between. It's like a bell curve. So you maybe listen these words in intermediates 2A, 1A, right? So such concepts are ruling this now, ruling the world now. You may be in inter days we chilled always. Obviously, I did that. In masters, I realized this is how you are using. So you'll see how median mode, etc. Things, simple things we did in school days and intermediate days. How these data analytics people ruling this world. So believe me, my first intern, I'll try to experience that, tell that experience. Inside engineering candidate is there. That is a very first internship. It is a opportunity. I engineering candidate is beside me, and I'm a statistician with no coding knowledge. So you may be listen about correlation concept. So which is -1 to +1. So the whatever whoever the CEO is trying to hire, he simply asks one question for us, to us. Whoever answered is going to only opportunity for one intern. So he's good in Python. He's good in code. Whoever data engineer guy, data see engineer guy. I'm a statistician. I don't have any technical knowledge. So he just asked, see Raju, there is a correlation between salary and experience 90%. So whether this column will affect this column, can you answer the question? So this is a very simple concept I learning from the school days, correlation. If there is a good 90% which is closing to 1, then is a good correlation between two variables, right? This is not known by the engineering. Obviously, he is not focused in the concept, data, what we call subject. So I simply said yes. Since it is a 90%, if the relation between below is 50%, then it won't affect the column. If the correlation between two columns is more than 50, then it is a factor affecting column. I said this only simple. I got the internship and I worked as a data analyst. Now I am into here. So how simple things will make your life change. So that's what I want to say. So make sure your data is symmetrical. The moment you think the data is symmetrical, okay, the next steps. So how to handle missing values, right? So what is missing values? So I think mean medium, yeah, here I can say missing value means the value is missing. Let's say we have a column called uh, price of a land. Let's say I'll try to take that example. and I'll try to show you how I use ChatGPT to understand my daily concepts. So how I use actually. So imputation is nothing but missing data is nothing but in overall data some values are missing. We have to fill that or you have to remove that, right? To make sure the data is, if you are processing that missing data to the machine learning, machine will stop working. So you have to make sure whether it is filled or you have to remove those rows. So whether to remove, whether to fill, that is the concept. So that is what about missing values. So handling missing values, we have two options: deletion and imputation. Imputation is nothing but filling up in simple word. So okay, you are saying delete, you have only three options, right? You can simply delete rows, columns, etc. But if you come after the imputation, you have to fill something, then there is a logical way of doing so. So time series problem or general problem. Let's try to see general problem. Categorical or continuous. Categorical means whether it is a gender column, male and female, or whether it is a salary column, right? Salary will be in a numerical, right? 35,000, 36,000, 36,500. So you have to first understand whether it is a categorical column or continuous column. If it is a categorical column, how to do? If it is a numerical column, how to do? So this is what about imputation. Let's try to see the simple example, the very first example, which is nothing but a mean, median, mode. So I'll try to take an example. You can see here, there is a nan value. Nan is nothing but empty, missing value. You have to fill with some value. So I'll try to take an example and ask you guys thought about the subject, and I want to know how you guys are good in that basic concepts. I'll try to use ChatGPT. So this is, I just want to show you how you can use ChatGPT. So you can see, I'll start. Like I said, I want to take an example of real estate, which is very familiar to with us everyday life. We'll see. So I'll try to ask, create a real estate data for me in India. Obviously, if you try to see in dollars, you won't understand. So okay, sorry. So this is how you learn. It is starting giving you the text sample data, like a table, you can say, with columns. You can say area, square feet, square feet, and let's say price. You can say, or whatever, like a simple small kid I'm asking. You can see whatever columns you think you can add. So just put your thought process and try to, don't underestimate the ChatGPT. It will give you more information. So the moment I entered, certainly here is an example. Okay, start giving the thing. So here I'll see, uh, give me sample data, and you have to appreciate it. Great. Sample data with missing values in price column. Where is that? Price per square feet. Great. Okay. Okay, we'll put here. So yeah. So imagine this is your data. You got the data from the client. So you have a missing values, right? So you have to fill with some values. So the question for you is, uh, let's try to take the Hyderabad. Okay, we have a places like. Okay, we'll try to see. Okay, you're only giving Hyderabad. Okay, Manikonda it's giving. Okay, it now makes sense. Okay, cool. So Hyderabad area is Gachibowli and square feet is that, and the price is this, and total price is this. So you have to, now your task is you have to fill that empty values, whatever the price per square feet and total price per square feet you are seeing with the some values, right? So what is the approach? Have you ever, how do you know anything? Have you ever listened like in the part of a course missing values concept? No, as of now. Okay. So you have to fill this column, sorry, these values with one of these values. So the question for you is whether you guys are going to use mean or median or mode. Before that, I have one logical way, one change I want to do. So let's say Jubilee Hills we have in it, Banjara Hills we have. So let's say 100 yards, 100 yards in Patancheru will cost like 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. Let's say that the same 100 yards in the center of the Banjara Hills city, it would goes for nearly 20, 40, 50 lakhs. It makes sense, right? Demand and supply concept. Let's say you have some values of 1 crore. Here we have a, let's say Gachipoli, which is now in demand. So let's say instead of 5,000, you have a 1 crore value over there. Okay, and let's say here 7,000, and again this is Manikonda, I can say we have empty value. Kondapur, okay. Let's say. Hey, here we have a 2 crores. Okay, let's say 1 not acre, let's say 500 yards land in Patancheru or some BHCL is like 10 lakhs, which is the same 200, 300 yards in Kondapur main, it may goes to 2 crores. It may logically right? Logically right. So now your job is to fill the value with the logical way, whether you have to use, the question is mean or median or mode. So we can, I'll take the people. I like that guy. Teacher. మీరే వెనకాల మీ వెనకాల ఎగ్జాక్ట్ మీరే సో మీకు తెలుగు వచ్చు కదా పర్లేదు టు మేక్ ఇట్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఫిల్ అ వాల్యూ విత్ ద లాజికల్ వే mean sum of all values divided by number of values, something like median means median value. Let's say you have a 1 2 5 1 2 3 4 5. If you in simple school days you will first cancel the first last cancel, you will go like that, you will left with one median value. So that is a median. And mode is nothing but a most repeated value. So now in here in this scenario, which method will use? Just try to give it a try. Mean or median or mode? Median. Why? Answer is why. Question is why. Why not median? Mean. Just make it. It's okay. Which one? Miro. Mire. Mode. So why?
Because only few places have to close and all the places might be having same.
All the places might be having same.
I mean, might be similar to the only few places have much.
Okay. Let's say we have. Let's say this is now 10 rows. Let's say we have 10,000 rows, and let's say 5 lakhs is repeating nearly 80 times. If you go with a mode, it will replace with that word. So that is not the best approach. So I can go after you. So what do you think? Mean or median or mode? Mean. So that's what I'm expecting, so that I can expect the concept. So like I said, there is a 2 crores, 3 crores. What is the mean does? It will take all, sum of the thing, average it. I mean, it will give the average value. So if you see, if you sum upping of the 1 crore, 2 crore with the 5 lakhs, 3 lakhs, etc., you are getting mean value would be very great, which is not, the idea is you have to be, whatever the filling value should be matched with somehow with rest other values. It should not be extreme, it should not be low, it should be between. So the answer is medium. So if you go after mean, it will take 2 crores, 1 crore, and it will sum up and it will give you the very extreme value, which is not good for fill upping. If you go after mode, which is most repeated value, it start filling up that. It is also it doesn't make sense. So the most not right way, but best appropriate way is going after the median, which is because it is not taking 2 crores, it is not taking very least value 5 lakhs, it is taking like between 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs like that. So that is a very safe zone to go. So that is how I will be using mean, median, mode in such scenarios. So that is what I would like to say. So you can go after mean, you can say Python, you can say median of price, you will get the value. Then there is a concept called df dot fill na, right, with the value which is nothing but a median. The moment you run the script, it will replace with the median value. So the answer is median. this is how we use daily lives as a data analyst. So that is a very basic example. Uh, let's go after continue this. So yeah, that's how we fill up the values. Okay, data imputation we say. Next, most frequent or zero values. We can go after some other logical way. Like we can fill up with zeros. If you don't know anything, better go with zeros. Don't fill up with the extreme or with. You can go after with zeros. Later you can explain with the client. So how you have to do? You have to think something and you have to do uh, work that and try to say that client. So based upon these logic, I did this. Let's say, like I said, the logic, I choose the medium. Then it makes sense. I didn't got the thought, so I replaced with zero to make it better. So if you have any thoughts, please let me know, client, so that I'll change accordingly. Then obviously he knows his data and he'll be having some knowledge. He'll try to give you some input. So based upon, then you can change the code, right? So always go after whether logical way or not, zero. This is. So data imputation most frequent or zero constant values. So depends upon the requirement. That is, I said about uh, numerical data, and you can see there is a factors like demand and supply concept. Then is a change of method. If it is like male and female, then you can simply go after mode, like she said, which is most repeating word. You can go, you can't go. There is a categorical. That is what I'm saying. Data type understanding is better. Let's say there is a gender male and female. You can't use medium because it is not a numerical column to find a medium, right? So you have to go mode only. There is no option. So depends upon the data. You have to use the right method. So imputation, there is another method called KNN imputation. This is very appropriate way, which is nothing but there is a linear regression. Whichever the point, let's say in earlier example, let's say we have a 5 lakhs missing value 8 lakhs. So what we'll try to take, whichever the value is nearby, let's say 5 lakhs is near, it will try to fill up with that value. That is also logical way of approach. So that is one way of data imputation. Data imputation is nothing but filling. Okay. So this is another method. We call it as a multiple variate imputation, but I don't want to take you that because you will get mad statistics. So data reduction. Okay, we're done with the imputation. Now we have a 200, 300 columns. Now we are into the concept called data reduction. We are done with the data cleaning, or let's say data imputation part. No filling, no missing values are there. Now it's time to select only few columns, right? So that is what we call as a data reduction. You can see there is a simple, like we have a few lines. I selected a few lines. Like uh, this second concept is like instant selection, the based upon, and discretion. You know Euclid distance. Have you ever heard about it in school days? Euclid distance, E1 minus E2 into something. Now we are using such formulas to impute the values what they have. You have to be in the logical way. Statistics is a logic, then you won't get confused. So data reduction and principal component analysis, which is another method, just all about imputation. We have different methods. So PCA we have, and how it helps us. So removes correlated features, improves algorithm performance, reduces overfitting. Overfitting means, like I said, nine. Yeah.
When you're going for this replacement model, right? So where you're going for this placing the data, right? Placing values. So that is not accurate, right? What we are going to give the data. So don't you have any objections from the client?
Yeah, that's a good question. You can't replace, obviously. Why? Because you are changing the data.
Yes.
One way, that is right. Second way is deleting. Let's say there is a missing value for price, but there is a fill up value with the location. If you start deleting row for one missing value, you lose row, right? So the alternative, instead of deleting, we'll try to go after imputation only, but logical way. If doesn't work anything, we'll try to simply delete. But deleting is a in SQL. I think you maybe hear these memes. Intern will join the company and he'll delete the production. The whole company is gone. So delete is the you have to delete that word in delete from your mind. So mostly imputation will go, but based upon the logic. If clients say no, we don't need such rows, it doesn't make any sense to my data, then you can simply delete the rows. Okay, so this is one way of imputing. Correlation, like I said, a relation between two variables. So you have, like I said, how you select data, right? Data reduction. You'll put you'll plot such data visualization, which is we call as a correlation, or you can say heat map. So which will help you to understand correlation between two variables. So let's say 200, you plotted the plot, and you'll able to see good correlation for few columns on. What we'll do, we select such columns only, and we'll put it aside. Rest of them will remove them, so that our model will get accuracy good. So that is what about correlation. I think simple relationship between two variables. If it is closer to 1, then it is a correlation, a good correlation. If it is closer to -1, then it is a bad correlation. Simple as that. So based upon the correlation also, you'll try to reduce the columns. Okay. So auto correlation, this is another concept. So it's a deep into, but I don't want to take you guys. So next, the last step, we've done the selection, we've done the pre-processing, and then transform. Right, like I said, logical way, collecting what to change, what not to change, transform. Pre-processes accordingly, data type change, fill upping, reduction, etc. This all goes to the pre-processing, and lastly transform. Okay, now your data is clear, no missing values, and you 200 to 100, you come up to the 200 columns. Now last step is like transform the data as per your requirement, which will help you to give the model. Like I said, a date column, it has to be in the date data type, right? If it is in a string data type, you can't go after year-wise sales analysis, right? So you have to there where we'll do such steps in transform data. So scaling is like I said in earlier, 2 crores, 3 crores values are there. So you can't take directly. You have to scale it in one range, let's say -1 to +1, so that machine will understand and it will perform very well. So transform data, we'll try to do scaling, we'll try to do decomposition, we'll try to do aggregations also. So you maybe hear about it if you learn in data science. This is, if you remember, x minus mean of x, square root of variance of x. We done it in a intermediate. So we are using standardization. Means we are now our data is good, everything is good. We need to merge the data, or let's say take the data into the one format, let's say, which is applicable to the machine learning. I mean, machine, how you understand, it will understand in numericals, it will understand in certain ranges only. It will also have some functionality. So based upon that, you have to standardize your data. So one of the method we use for standardizing is nothing but the standard scaling. The formula is like that. So you'll take x as a variable and mean of that variable and square root of variance of x of a variable. So based upon the whatever the value you will get, you will try to transform in that way. So this is one way. Minimax scaling. This is also similar, but generally one difference is you can see it can also called a variance scaling, which result scaled feature as a mean of 0 and variance of 1. Here it is minimax scaling sequences. I mean stretches, squeeze the data. All futures value between range of 0 and 1. I mean whatever the value is 2 crores, 3 crores, it will come to the peak. It will come to the level of 0 and 1. So in logical way, we have to do. I'm just saying we have to merge, string that space, but you have to make sure it is we are going logical way. So minimax scaling is another method. So Y scaling, you can see without KNN is an algorithm, machine learning algorithm. Without scaling, this is how the data looks like, which is not a structure. You can see there is no bargate. I mean, on top of toppers, in top of lower student, there is a kind of comparison in our whole life. So if you see here, we don't have any pattern over there, right? So it will how machine will understand, right? So we have let's say a machine learning algorithm trying to understand if you put an image, whether it is a cat or dog, how will it understand based upon their features? Let's say we'll try to type cat ears would be this length and eyes would be this length and mouth would be this length. Based upon such factors, he'll try to classify whether it is a cat image or a dog image. So if you don't have a pattern in your data, then machine will confuse and start giving the wrong result. So that's why always having the right pattern. So the very last step of a future engineering is nothing but selecting columns. We have seen data reduction, and lastly, last step is like selecting only the columns we need. So how we select that, right? So this is a concept of coordinate transformation. How this so you can see it always try to see that a linear program and try to see whether the data is mapping up that linear program so that data is correct. So we'll try to use such methods, polar coordinates. This is also intermediate concepts in physics. So we use such concepts now in real time, and we'll try to put the actions. So this is one method. Iterative process. See how feature engineering helps. So feature selection, most useful and relevant features means nothing but columns. Okay, are selected from the available data. Feature extraction, future existing features are combined to develop. Let's say there is a price call. Some X fellow company want to, let's say some client want to give discounts to their clients. So let's say customers. There is no discount column also, right? So you have to create a discount column. How you create? Price divided by whatever the discount is giving, you'll get the value of a discount rate. You have to create such columns. So based upon what, this is what the feature engineering does. So you can add features, you can filter features like that. So again, I'm going to the concept of statistics. You can see you got a variable, whether it is a categorical or numerical. If it is a numerical, and if in numerical we have used Pearson correlation, Spearman correlation. Whether it is a categorical, we have a ANOVA testing, and numerical, Kendall's, chi-squared, etc. So I know you guys don't like it, but yeah, these are the key concepts. So future selections, yeah. So future extractions. So this is kind of a healthcare people's how we think generally. So what are you doing there? Let me show you how to do it. So the logical way of doing that. So I'm comparing the curves to find out similarities or patterns over there, right? So we'll use Euclid distance, which is, you may be seeing this, summation of I is equal to n from qi to ci. These are using in real time application, and we are building such applications. We are just simply using the applications, and background we are doing such mathematical concepts. So data preparation time series. So data pre-processing the offset data. So we'll try to imagine raw data is like that. We'll try to put that in that way, so that we can use that q minus mean of q, such formulas to get the data in the right way. So yeah, this is all about how we process. Let's try to take an example with the Python then. Uh, so you can see input data, machine learning, how it works. Input data, future extraction. That's what a data analyst does. Classification, whether it is a cat or dog. Output. The moment it will show you the output whether it is a cat. That's how a machine learning works. But in the backend, this is what all happens in depth. So deep learning is like advanced on top machine learning. It will, the moment you input the data, it will automatically does the future extraction and classify and give you the result. So NLP is a new concept. Let's say you have a Twitter data, let's say text. You have to do sentiment analysis. Let's say Pawan Kalyan fan is there. Is the moment he posted the post, he'll try to give some Anna Anu Topu. So it is a, whether it is a positive, whether it is a negative, like, so such a sentiment analysis we say that we'll try to do. If you are dealing with a text, then it is called as a NLP. So these are the concepts. So what to take? Right? Data includes data selection, pre-processing, and transformation. Right. So you have to deal with missing data and what should be removed. Right. So you have to organize the data as per the requirement. It's a part of formatting, cleaning, and simply. Lastly, data transformation, which is nothing but scaling into the one structure and removing such attributes or selecting future part. So overall, this is a subject. Done with the subject. Good to you. So yeah, that's all from my end about the subject. So now I'll try to take one data set and try to show you how I use data pre-processing. General data pre-processing, I'll use SQL and Python only. I don't go to the machine learning, these all concepts, because it is out of your box. So then you will make sense, I think. So yeah, let's take break on this. Continue. So let me open. So you can use Jupyter. You have a Google Colab, free source. If you don't know how to install, if you don't have a patience to go and load, don't know how to install Jupyter Notebook, you can use Google Colab. Now we are at new technology, which is Databricks, which is also free source. So we have a different technologies to write code. Okay, you know, PyCharm. Different companies use different tools, or let's say platforms, to write code. So I'll use Jupyter Notebook as a data analyst. So where I put the data. So, yeah, I have to tell you one use case. So, how business works generally, how our company takes the project. Let's say there is a company called Phenomic Sciences, which is a good company. So, so you can see the objective of their business: double the effectiveness of weight loss. I mean, out of 10 people in US, UK suffering from the diabetes. So that is the number one business now. I'm working for that project. So you can see here for patients how to, four types of obesity. So I'll try to simplify the objective, I mean, goal of a project. Let's say you come up the data. So let's say you are a patient. You joined some, you gone to the phenomics people. Generally, what does in our Hyderabad or somewhere, the moment you say I am suffering from obesity, they don't know how to exactly deal with that. They'll try to do 50, 20 lab tests and try to give some medication. This is general procedure we all know. But phenomics people, these people are saying that we are not like that. We are going in a logical way. And the moment I start explaining the logical sense, you'll try to combine with me. You'll accept with me. So they are saying the moment a customer will come to us, will not try to directly go after test. We'll first try to classify what is his reason of obesity. The moment we classify the reason of obesity, then we will give such treatment only, such medications only, so that within less time they can lose their weight. This is logically correct, right? So every people are coming and go test and take medication, try to do fitness. This is like normal way. If you say a logical way, people will ask. So these guys, how the logic? So hungry brain, you eaten well morning breakfast, but your brain is saying not enough. What you'll do? You'll go and start eating. That is one of the reasons you'll get obese. So what is we call hungry brain? Your body stomach is good, your stomach is full, but your brain is saying you are still hungry. Then you will go and start eating the thing, food, etc. By obviously will depend upon the junk food only. You will get obese. That is one of the reasons. Second is hungry gut. You are eating good, but your gut is not satisfying. The rate of metabolism, we can say, how much we eat, it has to be digested in one day, or else you will get obese. That is second reason. Emotional hunger. I think these are very familiar to our real life. If you are happy, what you will do? Chill out with friends, have drink food. If you are bad, had some breakup, what do you do? Still go food and drink. If you are kind of lonely, you don't know what to do. What do you do? You still order the food and you eat the food. So this is what called emotional hunger. I mean, whatever the emotion it is, happy, good, sad, lone, feeling bad, very lone, or like need someone. It's all about food. So that is the reason. One of the reason getting people are obesity. So that is one reason. Slow burn. Slow burn, I think mismatched it. So slow burn is your rate of metabolism is less. Hungry gut is your gut is not working well. So these people are saying the moment you come to our clinic, we'll first try to classify into one of the category, right? So if you are suffering from emotional hunger, they'll try to ask you a question. If you are happy, what you do? I'll go and drink and have a food. If you are bad, same. If you are alone, same. Then you are suffering from emotional hunger. You have to take such medications. You have to go after such a treatment. This is logical sense, right? Then also they'll say they'll control your emotions so that you will get less obesity. So in that logical way, these phenomics people now in obesity category, they are the top leaders in US UK. So for this project, I have been worked on. So let's say our company wants to get this project. So we'll go to the client. Let's say client is like Max or Tim. Tim by we call it as is Tim Murthy Corner, but we call it as in general terms Tim by Indians. So Tim by will go to the Tim by and we'll start saying that Tim by we know healthcare data. We want to take this project and we'll give you services. How he will believe, right? So he'll do that. Raju, you do one thing, or I'll say he'll tell my manager, you will do one thing. Take a healthcare data and try to put your thoughts on it. Try to put your thoughts on it and show me what you understand. How will you understand healthcare data and how will you help data analytics to business? So that based upon that, I'll give you my project or not. I'll decide. That logically correct, right? Because investing is a very logical way of thinking. I mean, you can't invest with the words, right? So how we do that? So generally, in such cases, what my manager asked me to do, now to take some free source data and healthcare data especially, try to do some analysis and some dashboard, so that we can show it to the client, so that if everything goes well, we'll come this project, I'll give you 30% money. Obviously at the it comes to the money, right? So motivation is money for me as of now in this sense. So what I'll do, so that comes, so okay, so you can see what I did. You can become command in Python or whatever logical way you want to go. You can go after Google and try to find research papers. Keyword is research paper. You will be having such research, and you can see here whatever the data is all about, background data, etc. Everything will be here. So and the database also you can see hospital, right? Is a hospital, and specifically I took care of ICU. You may be listen about. In ICU, we have MICU, SICU, CCU, CCU. I don't know these all things. The moment I came to the data, I got mad. So hospital, ICU, and in ICU we have this type of data. Like we have a test. Obviously, every patient goes some test, right? Second, orders. I mean, whatever at which date he got joined, right? So billing, how much bill he made, etc. Demographics is general information like sex, etc. is general information, and notes and reports. I mean, you may see in terms of doctors started writing notes. Lead doctor would be there in back end. Some nurses will be there. They start writing notes. So that also in US, UK, in our India, we don't have such flexibility. But in US, UK, they'll post there or save their notes on the monitor or let's say database. So that in future, let's say after 6 months, the same patient came and again rejoined. So it will be easy, right? Simply typing the patient name, getting this previous history, it will be easy to write a prescriptions for it. So this is what our data set. So let's say Mimic3 database. Mimic3 is a healthcare. Mimic is a health hospital, and they utilize given their databases to the people go and explore. So I took this research paper and started seeing here. You can see here there are some findings. So you can see critical care unit in ICU. You have a distinct patients percentage of total admission. CCU we have a 14%, ACU 20%, MICU, etc., etc. So what I'm trying to say is in research papers you will be having a research, but no one share code. Why? Because that is their law, their money, right? That is their effort. So what I did, I find this as a logic, nice way. Healthcare, we are having results. So what I did, I took the data and started trying to show same result, but client won't know. So what I did, I took this research paper and thoroughly understand the concepts what they did. You can see I'll show you this graph also. I literally tried to it took me like 3 months to show up the same visual, same results as per the date, as per the research paper. So this is what about research paper. In research paper you'll be having all details. So what I did, I'll go here. So that is all about data, how you can find data. Okay, I'll take some Mimic3 healthcare record analysis. Okay, this is one example I'll try to show you, and I'll end with it. Okay, so you can see I took a Mimic healthcare data set, right? So you can see I use simple pandas to read the data, right? So you can see it's an admission table. We have a few table. I think I took only few tables and started analyzing because to just make sure the client, okay, these guys can handle my data. So I took the admission table, I took the ICU stage table, I took the patients table. That's it. I think so. The moment this is like primary key, foreign key concepts, right? So based upon that, I merged it. So you can see now I exploratory data analysis starts. You whatever you guys are learning data analytics, this is what we do exactly. So describe. You can see subject ID. We have a count 136. What it means? We have a 136 patients, right? Count of patients. Let's say expiry flag, which is month. Whether these guys are expired, I mean dead or not. So we have a 136 rows like that. So mean, average, we can't go after subject ID mean. It doesn't make sense. So we can say ICU stay ID, loss, length of stay. Length of stay in how many days you stay in a hospital, that much bill will goes up, right? So length of stay is also a factor for billing. So we'll try to see what I'm trying to see. Describe how it helps to understand the data. All about how I'm using to understand data. This is so describe will help me to see count, mean, median, mode, the basic statistics. Then info. Have you ever tried to see that? So this is what I'm trying to say. You can see subject ID is in integer. Okay, not a problem. Subject ID means employee ID like that, or a patient ID 105400. Doesn't not a problem. Okay. Gender is an object. Okay. Object is nothing but a categorical. So date of birth, you can see date of birth is an object. Now it is not a good data type, right? So why? Because date of birth. Let's say I just want in future I want to see how many people are joined on February. Let's say winter season, everybody started experiencing flu, right? I just want to see in this month how many people are joined, right? At that time, if I try to do such analysis on object, which is nothing but a categorical, I can't do that. So what I have to do? I have to change it to the date type so that I can do day-wise analysis, month-wise analysis, year-wise analysis. So that is what you have to think. So at the end, I'll try to show you one notebook how I write simply like a kid. After seeing the information, this is what okay I have to do. I have to change date column type into date in future. Keep reminder that I have to write like that. I used to write like that. So df.info. So you can see in time is see the moment I realized we want to understand the correlation between the patient's age and their average length of stay. Let's say old age people are there, younger people will recover fastly and they will discharge, right? So just I want to make sure whether age is there is a correlation between age and length of stay. Uh, it's logically right? So old age people will recover slowly, so there would be a good length of stay. So I just want to see that. To do so, I have to make sure the data type is correct. So you can see to do this, we must first convert the timestamps into date time object. So df.info will help me to understand what are the column data types, right? The moment I understand the data type, if something goes wrong, I'll try to change it as per my requirement. I know I have to do monthly analysis. So for that purpose, it has to be in date type or timestamp data type. It should not be in a string. So I'll change that, right? So then I want to see length of stay. So you can see I want to see per hour how many people are doing that. How many people are staying in 1 hour. For 1 hour, how many people are admitted? For few hours, let's say one day, how many people are to do analysis? I have to create new columns. So this is what a data analyst does. Here you can see I'm creating a new column, nothing but a length of stay with these logic. df of out time minus df of in time divided by 1 hour. I want to see it for 1 hour. So a new column created, right? So this is what I daily does. So you can see, let's say if I don't have a age column, how can I calculate? So if there is an object data type, how will I calculate age? Data from the date of birth, right? So you know how we calculate date of birth. The present year minus our date of birth minus it will give our age. Simple logic. So I started creating an age column, which is not in our database, but it will affect our database. I mean, it will logically ask. Let's say if patient joined, client may ask how much, what is his age, right? It logically makes sense. So you have to make sure first what he may ask. You have to take it as a point and try to create such columns if it is not there. So age I created. So then I just want to, no one, there would be human errors. Obviously, the data should be entered by some data entry fellow. So no one, as of now, no one leaves up more than 100, right? So whoever people are leaving more than, let's say their age is greater than 100, I want to delete such rows. So I'm simply using filtering concept to filter such rows. So you can see, I started seeing plot between age, length of stay. You can see here 20 is age, 20 is age, 30 is age, 40 is age, 50. You can see, like I said, logically, if the age increases, his length of stay increases. You can see 20s and 30s are, they are going within 1 day. You can see this is a point. So, you know, this is a scatter plot. So this is how a simple statistics or visualizations will help business. So you can see 20s people are, they are like staying for 2 days, 1 day, because they are healthy, they are healthy. The moment the age is going, you can see the length of day is increasing. You can see this is 90 kilo, let's say 80. He's yearly having a yearly year in hospital, right? That is a business. We need people in hospital so that billing will increases, profit will come. So we'll try to analyze, right? So this is one factor. So how I'm using, you can see I'm started using SQL. You have to write these much queries to get. So I can't. I think that it's not a good idea to understand this all because you may be confused. As with RE, which is a table name, select whatever the thing I want, and it is like a nested queries. You may be coming to the picture when you started learning SQL. So it is like nested queries or like with is nothing but a CTE, right? So these are all concepts. So you can use SQL also to do such analysis. So I'm using combination SQL to get the data from the database. Why? Because data is in database only. I can't use Python on it, right? So I'm using SQL to get the data, and whatever the transformations I need, I'm using Python on it. Because Python is like English, I can do easily. So the moment I got the admission table, so earlier is different table, now it is admission table. You can see I'm using method called pd.readSQL. So that is method. I'm taking the admission table. Ham ID is nothing but admission ID. Subject ID is nothing but is patient ID. Whatever the data formats need, I'm changing and I'm creating new columns. And I'm seeing here you can see pre ICU length of stay histogram. Simple histogram. It will help me to understand some logics. So this is admission table. Let's say you have a data, you can see diagnosis. People are coming and joining with some diseases, right? So that there is a column called diagnosis, whether they are admitting with the sepsis or alcoholic hepatitis, shortness of breath, etc., etc. That also monitored in US UK. So we'll try to understand the data. So I am using regular expressions to split the data, or let's say, as per my requirement, obviously I'll be having an end goal. The column should be come like this. To do so, I have to write codes on it. So always have an end goal, how to do, and try to write a code. So nowadays you have a flexibility. You have a thought. You can use ChatGPT to get the logic. In work also real time, believe me, you have to see it in two ways. Interviews is different, like preparation for exams, and real working is different. Believe me, once you entered, you'll able to do manage. You'll able to manage with the earlier our days we have to depend upon Stack Overflow, etc., etc. Now you guys have a ChatGPT. So what I want to say is, cracking a job is an easy now, but just utilize the free sources you guys have. You have a Kaggle, go and take the data and try to practice it to get hands-on on Python. We don't have a Kaggle on those days. We used to depend upon the institutes or SARS, etc. But you guys are not. You can't stick your knowledge to one limit. You can take it to whatever extent you want. So I'm writing regular expressions. So machine learning, mortality means like death prediction of ICU patient. So you can see value counts. You may be seen in Python. What is means? Let's say you have gender male and female. How many males are there? How many females are there? You can simply use value counts. It will give you one is nothing but male, female. Here in the case, expiry flag means one is dead, zero means he is not dead. So in our data, we have 85 people are still alive who are admitted into our hospital, and 42 are admitted and died. So, and this is also business. Whoever died, how he died, why he died, whatever the reason, we'll try to analyze it. We'll try to keep it as a point. The moment the old age people will come, okay, whoever the BP is, you may be seen in some hospitals. If you go with an old age guy who is BP is high, his cholesterol level is high, the private hospital won't allow you to admit. They'll simply go ask you to go to a Gandhi hospital because they don't want to take that blame, because there are more chances he died. The moment the patient joined and died, people will get angry and remark will be on the hospital. So they'll try to predict such factors and try to send the guys to the Gandhi hospital, so that you can't ask in Gandhi hospital. The moment you joined in Gandhi hospital, everyone people 90% he died. Why? Because our facilities are like that. So that is the people are doing. How these guys are using healthcare to do predictions about the patient. So this is about simple hospital expiry flag, etc. And it comes to the picture machine learning. I think I don't know whether you guys are came into here or not. So at then we have to do machine learning, and the moment we got the accuracy, we'll try to predict with new data. So this is how a data comes. So now this is okay, code okay. Do you think client will understand this? No. So we have to show it in a way, dashboards. I'll show you whatever the results we have done in the dashboard way. So to get a project, these are the process we'll do as a startup. In big MNC, we have a client. In startup, we have to prove our work. As a fresher, you have to prove your work as also. So I'll show you some my dashboard. You can see there are admission table, call out table, caretakers, etc. Tables, right? You can see I created this dashboard for the uh, for this is for a doctor. Doctor, what I asked, I'm not able to. The moment previous patient came, doctor, I came to you 2 years back. Now I got the same disease. Can you help me to understand? He forgot his why because he got many patients over the time. He'll obviously forgot the patient. So he just want. Is there any possibility? Is there any can create a dashboard so that I simply type the patient name or the patient ID so that it will get back to me the history of his what we called medical history, right? So this is the dashboard does. You can see that this is overall data for all patients. You can see I am typing. I remember one ID 101199. So you can see the moment I type the patient ID, everything is changed. You can see his patient information, his patient ID is this, his admission ID is this, his age is 40, his weight is this, gender is male, service is this, and he's divorced or not. Maybe that is one of the reason for his mental stress. So last visited is 15th May. And what is this? Yeah, like I said, married and alcoholic. Something is matching, right? So yeah, is alcoholic hepatitis. I mean, he's suffering from the alcoholic something related. So if doctor sees this dashboard, he'll try to get that picture immediately, right? Okay, this is that guy who come up with the alcoholic fellow. Okay, then he'll start seeing his admission ID. These are like I can see, you can see I divided the concepts, right? So like a general dashboard, you can see glucose levels, heart rate as per the last visit. So his oxygen levels. If you see, I also did a something like uh, this. We called it as a I no one has. Okay, you can see the moment he joined, this is how his respiration rate is, and it is increases and it increases. Overall, last before he is leaving the hospital, his respiration rate come into the normal stage, right? So he'll able to understand. Doctor will able to understand his medical history within less time. So this is how a business works, real time. So you can see blood picture. Maybe I didn't have that. So you can see this is basic details, hospitalization, admission details. You can see diagnosis. What are the diagnoses? He has some asthma. He has some acute hepatitis. These are all the diagnosis. Whatever the lab reports. So you can see. I click over the lab reports. You can see these are all the lab reports he has. I just want to see one value. The moment I click, let's say acetone. I don't have the value. Alanine abnormal. You can see I given a label also whether this let's say lab test is normal or abnormal, right? So you can see base excess normal. It is normal. Okay, you don't need to focus on the basis kind of a disease, right? So based upon that, doctors or like the health people are able to predict what is his medical history and try to give a good medication. So however the prescriptions, so you can see prescription. These are all the prescriptions he has been prescribed earlier, right? It would be easy to remember, right? How about the doctor's notes? Like I said, nurses are started writing the notes. This guy has no notes. Okay, let it be. So procedures info, whether this guy is into fall into any surgery like that. So as of now, no, he's a lucky guy. So microbiology, something are there like some blood culture, blood culture, right? Overall blood picture that is still pending the report. So based upon this, now we are able to get the medical history of a patient. So now what we'll do, we'll try to take this all to the Timbai. See Timbai, whatever the free source we have utilized in this way, and we are able to understand the data, and we are able to create such dashboards, right? So the moment he see our work, he'll get impressed, or he'll get what we call trustworthy on us, and he'll give our project. And that's what it happened with the phenomic sciences. And this is how we got the job. This is how we got the project. And the moment I got the job project, I got 30%, and I'm into the project. So this is how a real time works. Hope I made a good thought process on your mind how a data analyst work in real time. So that's it, guys. That's it, guys, from my end. Did I miss anything? So I see notebook explained. Next to show Power BI. Okay. Explain how to do the task. Problem statement. I think people will give you the problem statement. I just want to show you how you have to write. I mean, the best way to understand the data. So I'll try to take analyzing browser default. Okay. Where is that? Okay. Okay. So desktop notebook. Okay, so this is a different use case. You will be having a vehicle price prediction use case I given for you. Uh, I just want to show you how you need to write so that it will help you. Come on, open up. So you can see exploratory data analysis and data pre-processing. So you can see this is how I want you to do write the task and share me the notebook or let's say with the team. So the moment you load the data with the pandas, right? Try to see first shape. Okay, how many rows are there? How many columns are there? Try to see head to get an understanding how it looks like. Info, like I said, to understand the data types. So if you see the moment done with the info, I written some over there kind of findings. There are some missing values in the column days and employed total employees because the number of rows should be 2125. Actually, total number of this. Some rows are missing. So I immediately write the findings. So I would like to you also be try to write in the same way. So you can see I'm filtering out the missing values. So you can see I'm immediately writing findings. In the display table, both columns appears to be symmetric. How I'm doing, how I'm able to do that. Since I'm directly able to judge that, since I'm an experienced guy, we have to use distribution plots whether there is a data symmetric or not. The moment you try to write like a kid, whether it is wrong or right, we'll figure it out later. Try to write what you thought. Then the moment you write it and later you realize it is wrong, then you will learn. Or else you won't learn anything. You'll end up with a zero knowledge. So for example, in row 12, when days is equal to nan, total income is also nan. So this is how you have to write. So I'm writing, is there any null values like that? So the missing value percentage is 10%. How am I doing? You can see that days employed is 0.10009, which is nothing but a 10%. So this is how you need to write the task. The moment given the project description and the task to do, you start not try to just try to answer my questions, just focus on the basic things, info, data types. If you want, if you think you have to change that, please change it. Later you will see my keynote, right? Key, then you have to figure, you will get to know, okay, I have to do it, I have to not, then you will learn, right? So I want you to encourage, like, please be failure so that you will learn. So you have to write like this. Missing values are like these. You can see distribution I'm seeing. The moment I done with any method, I started writing the findings. The distribution in the data set can be considered quite similar to the filter data, like a kid. So, however, there are several values that were not found in the filter data set, such as student, etc., etc. So, this will make you understand the data, and in future, in go on in the, on the log process, you will able to give the client or whoever it is good data, so that it will help them to get business decisions. So, don't think about themselves, think about yourself. Personal satisfaction that comes into the picture. Who does such like that? So that's all. I just want to show you conclusions. You can write that steps to handle missing values. So yeah, this is how you have to deal with the task I have given to the team. Okay, so that's all. So apart from that, you want me to explain project description, or you will take care of explaining? So where I written? Demo files. Oh. I think I missed the notebook. Sorry. Where is the WhatsApp? So can you share that? Like, I don't have that. మీకు ఒక PDF షేర్ చేశాను. Project. Search bar. ఓకే ఏమని పెట్టాను పేరు ప్రాజెక్ట్ డిస్క్రిప్షన్ project description factors affecting okay, got it. So this is the project I have given you. So I'll be sharing one data file, one CSV file it will be. So the objective is to understand the main objective of this. There is a vehicle data, how digital marketing or marketing is affecting the sales of an vehicles. This is a simple object. So to hierarchy to make into parts. So let's say ad duration, let's say you will be able to see in YouTube, right? Some are skippable, some are not skippable. So based upon that, whether the sales are affecting, right, or not. So such kind of a data is there. Analyze the number of ads and average price for each type of a vehicle. Analyze what factors, this is the last thing, and every project will expect. Analyze what factors are most influence the price of a vehicle. Generally, maybe model, maybe there is it a petrol vehicle or diesel bike, like that. Simple concept. So this is all about data. You have a price column, you have a model year, you have a model, whether it is Suzuki, etc., and condition is good or not, cylinders, etc. Try to, before going directly fall into this project, try to go and use ChatGPT, or like generally understand manufacturer data. I mean, whoever the who are from BTech, what is called, what is that, who deals with mechanical, sorry, mechanical people will able to learn enjoy this project. Why? Because it's all deals with the spare parts, bikes, models, petrol, etc. So first try to understand the domain. What I'm trying to say is domain, then come to the data, then come to the data analysis, then come to the prediction. That's how it works. So these are the columns, and you have to do these as per my knowledge. Analyze the patterns of missing values first, fill the missing values, fix incorrect data types, like I said, date type, such data types. Analyze outliers. Outliers concepts is like, if you remember the real estate data, if you plot the scatter plot for such column, price column, you will able to see the 2 crore, 5 crore value as an outlier, which is not matching with the entire data set. You find it as an outlier. Whether to remove or not, then is a question. In such case, you don't have to remove. Why? Because it's logically correct. Demand and supply concept. In Jubilee Hills, we will be having a same 100 yards for 2 crores. It's not a wrong. So it's not a removable thing. Then what to do? Standardize the thing, etc. So find out, filter it out. Try to go after ChatGPT or etc. Whatever you think, find it out and use the best thing. Don't go after friends. Don't discuss the film whether I'm doing this, whether you are do what you think. What will they do? They took your topic and they'll try to submit the institute, then you are done. So believe me, in politics are very good in political. What is this? Software. Your work will be taken by some manager, and they'll try to focus hide on it, and you left with a less package, etc. So start from selfish from now. Be your analyst. Be your take your inputs with you only. Don't discuss with your friends. And at then, I think girls may use this. They learned it a lot, but they'll say I don't learn it. Toppers may use it. So try to be in that way. That is a good way of in dealing with the software. So data analysis, average ad duration. In that, analyze ad duration, calculate the average duration. These all things are there. Please go through it. And if you have any doubts, please get back to me. So I just put it as simple concepts to understand your statistics. That's what my main agenda. People has to love statistics in data analytics. So yeah, that's all. So apart from that, right, tips to find resume. Okay. So do you know resume preparation? So I'll show you my resume. Uh, there is a free tool. If you don't know, use it. Okay, here it comes. Data Rajunatha. So believe me, you may go after buying resumes, paid version resumes are there. You'll go after like side by side, right? It will be very good looking. But believe me, there is a concept called CV. There is a already production. They're built as an application. They say they're getting millions of applications so one per day. Whether HR will sit and try to filter out each and everyone, no. They build an application which will they will put your resume to that application. It will filter out some resumes and hand over to the HR so that she will focus on that resumes on. So here we need to understand how that algorithm works. That whatever the product I am saying, it works on the linear progress. You have to write in this way. I mean, it has to be in this way, straightforward, so that mesh will come in this way. If you have a two rows, it will get confused. Let's say you have a name here and your address here. It will try to take address into the name of experience. So try to understand how that algorithm works and try to crack that logic and try to prepare your resume. So make sure you have the linear. That is what I want to say, and the simple, the name and the whatever role you are looking, and the simple about you, like, and skills comes into the picture. Try to divide in this way. Like let's say you will be try to data analytics and visualization. You can say SQL, Python, machine learning, and like let's say if you see we have a Python. See how I clearly or let's say bravely I want to put that keywords into the machine. Why? Because that machine has been trained upon keywords. Backend there would be data. So they already trained data. So if you start putting such keywords, NumPy, pandas, sklearn, implearn, pyplot, cburn, these all things you may think these are kind of why to put just simple Python, right? So if you start putting the thing, then it will segregate like in Python. These guy know these many. Okay, let's filter out this resume. So try to find understand how algorithm works and try to prepare your resume. So this is how you need to prepare. If you have a work experience, then after education, if you have any certifications, courses also, please do it. As a fresher, you have to do it. And projects, uh, here comes the cheat sheet. You can fake it, but be a good storyteller. So you can, I'll try to example. Here you can see, this is a Magic Store restaurant. When I was a fresher, I'm roaming in the DLF street. I think many of you know. There is a Magic Store restaurant. I didn't work on Magic Store restaurant. What I did, it would be unique. Like everyone putting salary prediction, etc. It would be common. I want to stand out unique. What I did, Magic Store restaurant sales analysis and revenue prediction. I took the project. I created the dummy story, and believe me, 5 interviews. I'm not able to answer the questions on project. He said, "Okay, tell me about Magic Store restaurant." In the very first interview because I don't know, right? Then after what I did, after first failure, I gone to the website and started seeing what is Magic Store restaurant, and I created a short story. What is Magic Store restaurant? It is a restaurant which have ice creams, which are this, etc., etc. Then in second interview, I'm able to answer first question. What is about project? Then what are the tools and technologies used? Simply we can say I used Python, SQL, Excel, etc. Okay, in Excel, what the filtration concepts you then done. Okay, then okay, this is a question I have to know. Next, in the third interview, I have make sure I don't repeat the same. I mean, if I have got the same question, then I have to answer. I think ఏదో సినిమాలో ఉంటుంది లైక్ 2016లో ఫెయిల్యూర్ అయ్యారు మీరు పేపర్ ఉంది సేమ్ క్వశ్చన్ 2018లో రిపేర్ అయ్యింది మీరు ఆన్సర్ చేయలేకపోయారంటే అది క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ తప్పు కాదు మీ తప్పు అంటే ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలి సో సేమ్ లాజిక్ సో ప్లీజ్ గో ఆఫ్టర్ failures try to make a note believe me 10th on 10th interview you will crack it because whatever the 9 interviews you have faced so far same questions will be repeated on 10th and believe me people are very good they'll try to give you an opportunity as a freshers because always anyone come from the fresher right so just try to out of 10 if you answer 5 7 also they'll try to put you into the list so that's how it works in reality so what I'm trying to say is you have a chat gpt go and whatever the domain you have let's say if these guys are mechanical try to go chat gpt give me some real time mechanical project how a data analyst will use try to keyword I'm saying prompt it will give you some results so try to put that in this way you know magic store restaurant role responsibilities put this all how ChatGPT will give and also ask ChatGPT what questions I can expect based upon my project it will start giving some explain about your project how you used excel formulas how you use sql things etc then prepare accordingly and give it a try so yeah so as a freshers you have to sell yourself simply speaking you have to sell yourself that is the key how you sell that is your strategy don't share the thoughts just go and explore the resources you have ChatGPT etc so this is the resume you have to be I mean linear you can use this uh, website which is free for free so resume craft this is a website you can go and create resume for free whatever I shown I'm still using free if I'm experienced I have money I still use the free sources why because if you really find it in a way you will find a free source so this is about resume and Naukari and that's what I want to say how algorithms work see Naukari I would like to suggest you one tip every day in the morning let's say 6 o'clock go and delete the resume whatever you upload and re-upload so why I'm doing why I'm trying today is how Naukari works is like a refresh model let's say they have put it as some time every day morning 6 a.m the whole data Naukari app will refresh so whoever recently uploaded the data or let's say resume it will pop up to the HRs so make sure you follow this tip. Have a good profile in Naukari and make sure you do every day. Put an alarm, uh, wake up on the 6 a.m. and simply delete and put it on so that you are recently updated. Your profile is recently updated. Believe me, you will get a good calls. And that's how a Naukari works. And LinkedIn, how it works. I'm a machine learning model. I'll always see in the back end how it works. LinkedIn works in the point of activity. Let's say you have to do you have to like share, you have to like such a post. You have to write some comments. I'm interested. Commenting for better reach. Let's say you have to repost something like that. Let's say you find SQL. There is a code, or let's say SQL cheat sheet. You just simply repost it. So how LinkedIn works? It is like an activity algorithm whoever the most active in their LinkedIn profile, their profiles will be pop up to the HRs. So this is a logic. So try to utilize LinkedIn in that way. Okay, go after it. Go and start liking everything. And one more logic, one more tip is like. Uh, so you can see LinkedIn. You'll go after here hashtag hiring. There are some people who put their logos as hiring. So go after people, start following them. Simple. So I would like to suggest, please delete the apps which are disturbing you. Let's say Instagram. The moment I thought about okay, I would like to switch, I'll delete Instagram because I'm not demanding it. I'm not ruling it. It's ruling me. I know it personally because keeps on going. So if you delete the Instagram, whatever the time you put on Instagram, you will try to transfer it to the Naukari or LinkedIn like that. So what I'll do generally when I start looking after switch, I'll go and hiring and start people following. The moment you have to be active in LinkedIn, let's say some HR followed you back, you are accepted your request. The moment she accepted your request, you will be having a facility to send a message. You can see recently before I joining the Amazon, that's what I did. You can see here. Uh, you can see Purva, uh, top recruiting. Hi Purva, hope you're doing fine. You'll able to get this template in ChatGPT simply. So I'm looking for this, and these my experiences, and this is my LinkedIn, and this is my mail. Believe me, this is how we get calls. So just wait for the HR to accept your request. The moment she accepts your request, you have to send a message. Go after ChatGPT and create a template with your profile, etc. experience, and be ready. Save it within a key correlates. Post it in a WhatsApp, right? So just copy paste. So this is how you need to understand how algorithm job portals are working, and you need to target it that way so that you will get calls, or else you will end up with no calls. So yeah, be a good storyteller. Okay, yeah, that's it. Always, like I said, take any data set from the GitHub, Kaggle, like that, and try to showcase that you have done. And believe me, you will be getting some questions. Prepare for that and act accordingly. And someday you will get a job. That's what I did. It's not a cheat sheet. It's like a, I think, smart kid. You can say that. So that's how you need to deal. So that's all from my end. I done with myself. So hope I made a good conversation, but I given a good clarity about the data analyst and the techniques. So if you have any questions or like things, you can ask me right now, or else we can wrap up the session. Yeah. Any other questions?